Force people on my side. I gotta go Air Force here. I gotta stick with it, baby. That's my godfather. Let's go.
It's an interesting lineup here. Both Daddy Mike and Execration are well known as members of this community. Daddy Mike, of course, is the streamer for Disrupt Gaming, and please don't get that started.
You see that they're hacking already. Claim charm in chat. You can't do that.
You can't activate the charm.
They're stealing charms in game from our people. It's not good.
Fond memories of that. First ban coming out for Air Force is a Jackal on Bank. That is not a surprise. And then you see Glaz as well. Commonplace to see Lion banned out here, but he's obviously quarantined, so not available for a ban. I think the defensive bans are probably going to be more interesting. You're thinking what? Maestro, Echo, Mira.
Well, Mira off the board. Actually, so far, you know, they did their research. I know a lot of these guys do play competitive. I know a couple of them. I know Execration. I know Daddy Mike and a couple other I have met in rank. So most of these guys do come from a competitive background, whether it be the Military Gaming League or so on and so forth. But we are actually going to have all very, very solid bans here on Bank.
Yeah, not surprising by any stretch of the imagination. You didn't get to see it, but we can see the pre-game banter that was happening between these teams in the lobby, and Execration promising that it would be a very fast 6 rounds.
Execration promises a lot of things. He really does. Remember that whole Nomad thing? Anyways, continuing past that, we are going to have Execration on Ash, which, you know, I would expect nothing less. So far, looking kind of an aggressive lineup. They are going to bring the double hard breach, though, on offense.
That makes a lot of sense for Bank.
I agree.
We saw it yesterday. The double hard breach on Bank is because you need to take care of those hatches and the walls, primarily on that bottom floor. But we're going to see the Air Force start upstairs on CEO. So I wonder how much of this is going to be them trying to get off the ground. We'll start on that second floor.
Main thing right here, we do have Legion being played by Beezy. He's going to want to stay alive as long as possible with his kit. Try and get down all 8 of those goo mines, especially with Finka on the board.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Make that a little bit more daunting for them. Not able to move as quick with Execration on that Finka. As we are going to have the crowd erupt here, which is fantastic for our military brethren on that stage right now. They are going to choose CEO office, as you said, for their primary objective to start things off here. But the lineup so far on the offense, I like the switches that they did. I like the Dokkaebi play coming in here.
I understand that you don't have a Mira available to you, but seeing this site be played without a castle is very peculiar, to say the least. It's going to fall on Air Force's side of things, of course. As for the Army, yeah, they're bringing a pretty frustrating composition for these defenders. In the Finka, with the Dokkaebi, as you mentioned, there's disruption on the board. That Finka boost is going to be particularly formidable if they happen to have some good gunners on the Army side, which I should imagine they do. Also, you've got 4 frag grenades, 2 sets in the hands of both Clink and Execration on the Finka and the Sledge.
I mean, if you are going to go that route with the Army having really good gunners, that must mean the Air Force will be good with their utility, because that's just about everything that they do. So, I mean, we should see that Evil Eye being used quite nicely then. They do have a lot of information, which, what do you know, the Air Force does have a recon unit, so that's exactly what they're doing.
You see right off the bat, Jehui just watching through the CEO window. I don't know if Daddy Mike knows that he's been droned.
I don't think it saw him.
But he's got a Valkyrie camera positioned at the bottom of the driveway to start a parking garage. So at any point, he could get pushed. He's playing as Valkyrie, not too far off. Early action, though, as Daddy Mike does take Execration down. He gets absolutely baited and say goodbye to the Finka, and Diffuser is down by the start of the garage downstairs.
I thought that was in your Army training. You got to check your corners, man. Come on.
Set of logic bombs going off here just to try and give away the position of Air Force. Uber Duper still having 2 stim pistols left. He can get himself back to full HP as he execute onto the walls of CEO. Credited the Dokkaebi pick here, but it's not every day that you see them running a boss G.
Honestly, one of my favorite weapons to use, also known as the meme cannon, is what everyone loves to call it respectively. Double barrel shotgun that can end your life in an instant, but the bad thing is you have to be accurate. Daddy Mike going to get in a little bit of rag and tag as he is going to put Clink into a body bag right there, and he's going to continue to run himself back to garage. Jehui going to find one on the other end of the map, and Daddy Mike going to find another, just running through the Army right now. It's down to the last Jarhead, which is going to be Iridan.
To grab that diffuser that was dropped about a minute and a half ago. Daddy Mike has his back to the thermite though, but he's in a position where he's just wide out in the open, and oh no, Daddy Mike, no information. Don't know if that Valkyrie camera was still up, having somebody watch it. But Daddy Mike had thrown out earlier on. So the Clutcher kick scenario now for the Thermite.
I mean, Daddy Mike really just, he did his job. He got plenty of kills, wasted a lot of time, only 35 seconds left on the clock for Iridan. Don't forget that period, that's very important. I'm just telling him, it's in the name, but we are going to have Wallen over here inside the elevator, and it seems like, yes, Wallen will find him. That will be the first round going to the Air Force. Good plays coming out here from the utility-based branch.
Very difficult for the Army to recover after losing 2 bodies early on, and then you have to go frag chasing, which on Bank is not hard, but I mean, the thing with Bank is that you've got so much ground to cover, especially losing that diffuser downstairs. Execration is too experienced a player to just go in on his own, carrying diffuser and die. That is not how you do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you come from such a competitive background, you don't check your corners with your drone, or you don't even look that when you walk in the garage. I mean, you know, this is what the Air Force wants to prove. That's why they're here. Daddy Mike in it for the memes right now, ladies and gentlemen, but it might work out. We saw it work out yesterday. One of the hypest moments, if not the hypest moment of yesterday, was that interrogation during the Rogue Sin match.
Cav on Bank makes a ton of sense, especially with Jackal being banned out, and I think this is also, you look up towards what Army was running on their side of things. It's going to be the first Montaigne that's going to get used here on Bank. I don't think we saw much shield play outside of Blitz yesterday. It's also the first 6 pick that they're going to use.
Yeah, Execration completely switching up, kind of taking a back seat per se, switching off of the more aggressive op of Finka. She does have those nades now as well, so a lot of utility on her, but he is going to switch over to the Montaigne, which might make these pushes a little bit easier. They are in the basement, but they don't have to worry about very many nitro cells. They do only have 1.
10 seconds left before
Now, there's not a ton of plant denial here, but there's an anchor-heavy position for the Air Force, which we noted on Bank yesterday. Doable. There's enough corners and enough angles in Bank that you can have your defenders sit on site and just wait. I mean, it would work quite well with the way that Army played that first round, because Air Force showed a remarkable amount of patience for Army to come in, and they picked them off one by one. We'll see if this is the case with round number 2 getting underway.
I can already feel the Army and Navy guys making fun of Daddy Mike for laying on his back in an elevator, but, you know, it happens. Hopefully going to be able to do something with this Caviera here, though, as he is going to be on the cam inside of there. J-Mac and the other guys from the Army Corps are currently looking to take over stock, possibly try and find Daddy Mike. They do not want a rerun of that last round.
Now, stick together, boys, is basically what I would do, you know, keep to formation, as J-Mag, as well as the Montaigne of Execration, continuously checking over on elevators and the main stairs just to ensure that there's nobody over there. But you know that the Cav of Daddy Mike is lying prone, and as a content creator, I think he knows all about creating that content, and he's looking to do that yet again after having his hot 3K that we saw from round number 1.
Yeah, that is the one thing that I do love about all of our amazing Twitch streamers and YouTubers in this community. They always do it for the content, which is fantastic, especially in this case right here on this show match. I'm honestly hoping to see some pretty good Caviera play coming out right here. I mean, she is extremely terrifying. As much as everybody loves to meme about her, that pistol is ridiculous.
So Daddy Mike will drop off of his position, 2nd floor elevator, and now go for a rotate down the main stairs, and might actually be able to grab the Twitch, who is looking the other way. Might catch the feet of Caveira if Daddy Mike isn't too careful, but he is just a heartbeat away from Clink, who will hear the barricade explode and very wisely peel off. That's the right call to make, given the damage that pistol does up close from Caveira.
A lot of time currently being wasted. Execration, though, going to start going for that plant, and since he does have that shield on that back, that Evil Eye is really not going to cause any damage. But I will tell you what does. Explosives, as BZ is going to take down Execration. That will be the diffuser down and no more Montaigne shield to worry about. Oh my goodness, Twitch gonna get in a gunfight right there, but Daddy Mike gonna go for the interrogation, ladies and gentlemen, and you saw him in the camera. Death to you, Clink, as he is going to spot out absolutely everybody. The diffuser's gonna go down though. What's going to happen here? A team kill's gonna come out. Irridin gonna find one as well. So things are gonna even out. Is Daddy Mike gonna be able to clutch things up with this Caviera? He's actually gonna get put down by Demand. Jehui gonna find one of his own though onto Irridin, and Jehui gonna go massive with that LMG as it is all down to J-Mag. Beezy going for the rotate. Jehui gonna find him though, and that will be the diffuser going down.
Excellent job for the Air Force there to clean that one up. A big part of that was the interrogation play, even though the distraction caused the diffuser to go down. They excelled in the post plant, even almost losing it out to a team kill, but still recovering very gracefully. It's funny how Daddy Mike baited out the dock. He basically said, hey, come over here, die for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
The dock of Uber Duber popped up, and then Twitch gun through him, and well, the F2 magazine disappears very quickly. And Cav was there to be able to grab the interrogation.
Absolutely. That's how you know the Air Force is really tight-knit. You know, like, hey, buddy, can you please come over here and get shot so I can shoot them? And I promise to pick you up if you're not already dead. So, very tight-knit unit over here on the Air Force. Hopefully the Army will be able to clean up a couple of those loose ends. Daddy Mike, though, been killing it on this roam so far. And I like to point out, you know, he really used that camera on himself right there, getting a little bit of BM, as we like to say, towards the Army, which is fantastic. You love to see it.
Yeah, Daddy Mike has really been quarterbacking this for the team. It's a phrase that I used yesterday involving Bank, and I'll bring it out again. Execration off of the support role on his side of things. These are two people definitely to watch. And with Execration having probably the most high-level competitive experience of all the people in here, at least on PC that we've seen. You want to put somebody who could essentially be your hard carry on an operator who will hard carry you, which is exactly what Ash is going to do.
Exactly, and I really think he just needs to get back to that play. I mean, when he was on Nomads, he was more of an aggressive player. And, you know, I really like to see that come out. I have had the gracious honor of casting him a couple of times while he was on Nomads roster. But as he will be going back to the Ash. No more Montang, no more shield play for the offense, just a little bit more aggression. We have both of the main entry fraggers out since Jackal is banned. We have Zofia, we have Ash.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
It's actually kind of funny to see Ash and Zofia get ran together. Usually that's too much utility in one area, especially in destructive capabilities. With the sledge too, so much soft destruction that you see on the side of the Army. You're going to leave it up to the Thermite as your sole hard breacher, which is okay. Tellers and Archives being the site for round 3, as Air Force is perfect on their defenses so far, means that CEO as well as CCTV downstairs are locked.
The one thing we always love to point out, those support players, Jehui going massive that last time with that LMG, that Alda, again, such a fantastic weapon. Probably my favorite one on defense besides Jackals. I mean, excuse me, besides Jaegers. My bad. Anyways. Daddy Mike gonna do it again, this time to Demand. The man, you guys gotta check your corners, boys. You gotta check them.
That's Diffuser as well. Second time in a row. Daddy Mike looking for a second around the window. He's got the sledge not too far off. A frag grenade will go in and it will tag Daddy Mike. Only a tiny bit of HP. Amidst all of the debris, he's the head of the sledge. Cannot connect on the tart, but there he goes, he'll get it. Gets immediately traded off by Execration, who dives around the bullets, but a huge play from Daddy Mike in order to get those two very important frags. Trading on a Vigil for a sledge into Zofia, I'll take that every single day. And despite Army finally being able to take out one of the roamers, they've still got another in the hands of its Beezy, who might catch one of Army inside of main lobby, but a bit of hesitation as he plays near Banana. And just looks through the railings. There's somebody beneath him. I don't know if it's being called out as we hear shots of an MP5 of Uber Duber. This could be Beezy being able to grab an easy frag down below.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Beezy. Execration is really going to have to get his troops in line here, ladies and gentlemen, if he wants to bring this back at all. I mean, he might have been right about the 6 rounds, but I don't think it's going to go in his favor. It might be a 6 going the other way. I mean, you hate to see it when someone, you know, says something so bold, and it goes the exact opposite.
Final minute of round number 3, and things looking grim for the Army, and it will get worse as Uber Duber just annihilates Execration. Clink cannot refrag it. Uber Duber with the double kill. Excellent play again from the Air Force, and they still remain undefeated on defense.
Army's just not able to take the base right now. I mean, Daddy Mike doing work on that roam as well. Stayed cool, calm, and collected the entire time inside of that stock room. Even played off the nade. Was not afraid to stay in there and try and stick around for more frags. And he got one.
I think Daddy Mike ended up getting 2 kills at that and then traded out. That was a very good value for the Vigil.
Yeah.
It worked, so he's going to go back onto it. Exec and CEO Lounge. So where things started here for the Air Force, they will go back. It's been 3 rounds, so the first site will unlock. CCTV will unlock next round no matter what happens here for the Air Force. Now this is a best of 1, it's worth noting. So this is going to be the only crack at it for the Army. There is no comeback. If they let that lead gather too much steam, they can lose out, and the Air Force can just blow right past them.
Truthfully, I honestly think that Daddy Mike was right about the whole chair thing, honestly. I mean, it is currently going down in these chairs, and it's up 3-0. I mean, he said he brought gunners with him, and they're really showing it off right now. And Daddy Mike topping off the leaderboard with those 6 frags, as you guys saw before. I've been really liking his roam style so far. He has identified out that not everyone is going to be as tight-knit, taking control of that situation on the communication end of things from Army, and just using that to his advantage.
Yeah, there really hasn't been as much cohesion from the Army, I think, as you would have anticipated.
5 seconds left.
It's, what's the Army saying? You know, no man gets left behind.
Attackers recovered the bomb
It seems that
diffuser.
with the Army, they
Attackers must
unfortunately
locate and
leaving
defuse the
many
bomb.
behind, as there's been no refrag potential, no ability to fight for a draw, whereas the teamwork on the Air Force has been exemplary, at least so far. So, round 4, it's a 5-round split. Keep that in mind. So we're still using the old rule set that USN was played under during the course of the regular season. And all the drone work that's being done near Skylight Stairwell will be made a little bit more difficult by Daddy Mike. Now, he's on the first floor in electrical. You mentioned this, that Vigil's ability has obviously a height to it. You can see he's on a completely different floor, and it's going to flummox these attackers as they don't really know where the Vigil is, and you're not going to want to spring into that closet knowing that he's positioned there, once again just waiting for a sloppy entry right by a doorway.
Doc going to do what Doc does best and pick himself up. He did get found on an angle from execration. That is the danger of being in the main lobby of Bank. You can get seen through so many windows. So we're going to hop over to Clink on the windows over here. But anyways, back to what I wanted to talk about with Daddy Mike on this Vigil is the fact that if you play those peculiar angles and pop that backpack, it is very dangerous because that's not usually a place where you will be droned out at. But Uber Duber going to pick himself up and find himself a frag as well as J-Mag is going to go down. Pre-fire's coming out. Not going to make any contact though as he is looking outside. He is going to find one. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Aridin and Mike finding one of his own on demand. The Air Force is absolutely running circles around Army right now.
Daddy Mike is still in this position to be able to grab Execration, and he sees him, but oh no, Daddy Mike will miss. Execration pivots. Doesn't know where he got shot at from. The Army's gonna have to get some reinforcements here as Clink is still alive, but is not really close to the Ash. Was rotating on the roof after spending most of the round on rappel over towards the CEO side of things. It's been a bit of a quiet game so far from both Demand and Execration, who were anticipated as being strong members of this team. Daddy Mike on the rotate gets caught off. And great flank watch there from the Twitch, and Daddy Mike's only going to get one this time around. It's going to set up It's Beezy and the remaining 3 other members of Air Force with a minute to go. Very little HP on Clink, and Execration having lost most of his HP, and he's going to lose it all and his head. It's Beezy inside a janitorial closet, getting an easy frag.
Beezy playing a little bit of limbo right there, but Clink's going to find his toesies. He's going to pop a shot into those in that F2. Extremely dangerous, but Clink having absolutely no health. He will find Uber Duber, trying to work his way up the hallway though. And this is getting a little bit closer to winnable. He still does not have very much health, but neither does Beezy. Oh my goodness, what a shot from Clink! Making it 1 versus 1 as fast as I can talk, but no, Wallen gonna find another one, and he would not live as long anyways, ladies and gentlemen. He did have that Gooman in his foot. He would have had to pull that out, but Wallen, right place, right time, but Clink, oh my goodness.
I don't know if that Goomine's not there if he gets the kill, because the hesitation, it looked like he was going to work into CEO. That meant that the Twitch of Clink would have been able to get in without a single noise being made, so big ups to the Legion. And as we said, he is not an information gatherer outright, but he has the ability to help you know where the push is coming from because of those traps being triggered. So Air Force still perfect so far and looking like they play well as a unit, and that individual play by Clink coming so close, but just so far.
Well, seems to me that Execration is, he had the gloves about half off there. He's like, all right, we're going to pull the Twitch, we're going to get the F2, we're going to get the R4C out. We're going to just try and gun him as hard as we can. Almost worked out. Clink so close to that clutch.
Yeah.
But the kitty gloves have now come off as we are going to be bringing out the Blackbeard.
Oh no. Bringing the beard. It's like a declaration of war.
I know. And the bad thing is, every time I look at Blackbeard now, all I get is flashbacks of Alex or Zoronic every time I look at it. Every time, just that
They
beard.
use the human Blackbeard.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the man has it tattooed on his hand. That he is the Blackbeard main. You can't take it away from him.
All right, well, how much is a Blackbeard going to work on this bottom site? CCTV lockers will be the final defense for the Air Force before we switch sides. An army staring down the barrel of a sweep at the moment.
10 seconds.
Truthfully, I think the way that the Blackbeard's going to work out really well for them here is that Daddy Mike, if you guys have noticed, he has actually pretty high headshot percentage currently, and he's been getting in a lot of gunfights with Execration. So that gunfight's going to last a little bit longer. It's going to give Execration more time to win out that gunfight. He is rocking the MK17. Recently, you guys did see changes to the SR25. Still a fantastic weapon, still my preferred one of the two, but he's going to bring out that Scar-like rifle. Clink's going to jump back on the Twitch. He was so close, as we said last time. He's rocking that SK skin as well, which is my favorite one for this gun.
Pour one out for the SK Orc, no longer with a team in Siege, at least for the time being. Former roster finding greener pastures with another organization, as these types of things do happen from time to time. But really tasteful, and of course, the F2 is one of the strongest guns in the game. And on LAN, it's a particular beast. And that's why you see such a high amount of Twitch play, not even just because there's a Mira available for a lot of teams. When she goes unbanned, in this matchup she is banned. But you see a lot of people rocking that Twitch because the F2 is just so good. We saw it itself when Clink almost managed to get that clutch, basically just spraying through everything. The high rate of fire and high damage is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, as you said, it's literally the perfect rifle. Has everything. The recoil pattern's fantastic, high rate of fire, and a good damage margin, which is exactly what you want. I kind of want to see that used on other weapons around, like the MPX, for instance. Needs a little bit of work, but as we are going to be getting about halfway through this round here, we are going to see Legion get spotted out in elevator by the person we were just talking about, Clink. So we'll hear a Legion mine go down, but he's not going to get too heinous with that. He's actually going to run right past it, as the marks will continue to follow the Legion downstairs. But Mike's still on roam, been doing a very good job of that so far, as Execration is going to start getting aggressive onto site.
And Daddy Mike is just above the Twitch and might have actually been unspotted. Now, if he doesn't activate that cloaking device and people are on drones, you won't necessarily know how close he is in proximity. Execration, who you mentioned was pushing towards the site, has now been given flank watch duty at the top of server stairs. He's going to wait for the Twitch of Clink to get back. Daddy Mike being a major focal point so far with how loose he's been playing and how successful it's been. There's going to be a confrontation inside of open area. The F2 barrel of Clink there, but oh, Daddy Mike walks away with that. How does he make that happen? Excellent play, as now a plant from Demand looking to go off, but the 7-second timer means that you're going to die to those toxic canisters. So the thermite will have to fall off the plant. And the stim pistol from Uber Duber will give Daddy Mike back all the HP he had lost. And Uber Duber getting very aggressive, but he gets felled by the Dokkaebi. A beautiful shot from the Army to keep this to be one of the closest rounds that we've seen, but Daddy Mike still just tearing through this Army team. He'll grab a third kill. Daddy Mike is there. He'll be denied the ace by It's Beezy. They'll leave J-Mag on server stairs. He finds the Legion. He'll start this comeback, but only 5 seconds and the diffuser not in his hands. He'll look for it, and it's gonna be maybe a 4K. There it is. Daddy Mike grabbing 4 of the 5 kills. It's Beezy stops the ace and just sweep through that first half, 5-0.
I feel like we've talked about Daddy Mike a lot. I really do, but he has been the focal
carrying
point.
that team.
Yeah,
You know?
it's ridiculous. I mean, I understand that Vigil does have, you know, a backpack that makes him immune to drones looking at him, but he's also trying to put the rest of his team in said backpack. He's been absolutely carrying, and it seems like that might continue as he does go for the aggressive playstyle and offense as well, in and of Ash. Now, I have actually gotten the chance to play with Daddy Mike a handful of times. You know, it wasn't ranked, but this is traditionally his playstyle. He likes being extremely aggressive and getting in people's faces. I expect nonetheless coming into this as well.
Actually a bit disappointed in the fact that the Army decided to skip this match today.
Oh my God. If you guys could hear inside of here right now,
there was like a wave of
ooh, and it's like ooh, yikes, yikes. It was almost like that 0-7 yesterday. Valley,
that was a great call.
that was fantastic. I love that
call.
That was, oh man,
that was a good one.
Oh my goodness.
Daddy Mike breaking double digits.
4, 8, 9, 10.
Are you doing the quick math on it?
Yeah, he's literally
he has
got
the exact
4
same kills.
Yeah.
As all of Army.
Yeah, and also he's only has 3 less kills than the rest of his team.
There you go.
So, yeah, guys, we're gonna need to get Daddy Mike a bigger backpack. I think somebody needs to attach some new things to that vest. But seems like the Army is really trying to bring it back now. There was a lot of talk before this that there was going to be a lot of memes, you know, maybe some recruit shields coming in, stuff like that. They just want to bring all shields, you know, have some fun with it. I feel like this has actually gotten to the point where it's actually getting quite competitive.
Yes, I don't. It started off nice and fun and lighthearted, and maybe okay, we're gonna think okay, we're gonna have a Caveira on defense, and then at some point they said, let's make this work. Air Force bringing out the big guns here with a Montaigne leading the charge through the sewers and into dirt, and then into the server area as well. EMP will go off and try to clear the way for I'm Not Wallen. And Aridin setting down an ADS will try to keep him safe from any throwables or projectiles that could flush the Jaeger out. Now he knows the Montaigne is there, and this fight that's going to ensue is going to require its BZ to land a couple really nice shots. He's lost all of his cover though. I'm Not Wallen trying to do his best, and Air Force is going to get one, but it's BZ, what are you doing? Clink finishes off the Montaigne. It's a good answer from the Army to try to keep this one close.
Now, the one thing that we always like to talk about inside of Rainbow Six as an esport, oh my goodness, Clink. This man is just rolling heads right now, especially after that Twitch play. Execration going to find one of his own in the process as well. Anyways, offense is a lot harder to coordinate than defense is. And that's across all spectrums. Offense is always going to be the more difficult thing in order to accomplish, and they're obviously finding that right now. But we do still have the man carrying the backpack, which is Daddy Mike on the Mav. He's currently inside of lobby, trying to drone out, get a little bit of information before he makes his push. Now, if you guys are newer to the scene, if you guys are just Army and or Air Force veterans or active military that are currently tuning in, you don't know much about Rainbow Six, Maverick actually has a blowtorch where he can melt little holes inside of reinforced walls or any wall. And, you know, they make nice little murder holes. He's got a really nice gun as well, so, you know, that's really what you want. Also, I love his hat.
He's a 3-speed too. He's got a really good and really strong kit on him.
And his hat.
Yes, his hat.
Okay, his hat, yeah.
Yes,
okay, thank you.
We'll focus on his hat for just a second here. Obviously, this is not a hat simulator, Sam.
Well, I mean, well, he was saying, anyways. But another thing I wanted to point out, though, Clink, as he actually ends up killing Daddy Mike, and he goes with the no-no. He actually has his blood type on the SMG-11. I wonder if this is actual blood type. I really want to know.
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
This is of course not the land build, so you can run whichever cosmetics you want that you have on your own account, and there's a reason why he likely has this unlocked. Probably yes.
That'd be a very cool addition if he actually did have his blood type on his weapon. I'd really, really like that. You know what I mean?
I don't even know my blood type.
I honestly don't. I think I'm B positive. What are the letters?
I have no. I know one of them is O. O negative, maybe. I like that you pointed out that it's usually easier for the defense here. When you find two teams that have very skilled players and there's almost no difference between the way that the teams are in terms of a gulf of skill, the defense does tend to win more because, like you said, it's a lot harder to pull off a good execute on attack and be coordinated with one another. Crowd will get hyped up there for the Caveira pick.
Honestly, I just want to say this to everyone in chat right now as well as in the crowd. I absolutely love how much you guys get hyped for Caveira. Literally rewatching yesterday, the Caveira pick came out and the entire Twitch chat just exploded. You guys are ridiculous with the face paint and just everything surrounding Cav. I'm on the Cav train, I really am.
It's a fan favorite. And like we said, Bank is a perfect map to bring out a Caveira on because there's so much opportunity for big roam plays. You have to be able to drone out all 3 floors here. Execration getting droned out means that they know that this 6th pick was originally a Pulse, is now a Caveira. So it's, as long as somebody's doing the math on the Air Force side of things, they'll now know all 5 of the operators. And
10 seconds left.
I imagine when people know that there's a Caveira on the board, they play very differently. You don't typically
5
see
seconds
that kind of
remaining.
rush style of play, because if you go in and you solo entry, you're essentially doomed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, she is terrifying. She is absolutely terrifying. The makeup is not just because she likes it, guys. She literally stabs people in their throat. I mean, that's what she does. And I mean,
gruesome.
yeah. And the other thing that I've always loved to point out about Cav is that she just says talk and then stabs you, and you give up the information even though you know she's going to stab you. It's happened to said person a million times.
I don't even know how you have the time to give all that information.
Yeah,
for
no,
10
she's
seconds.
like talk, like
Yeah.
just instant.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, they're very fast talking.
And now she knows. Yeah, you got, you're basically having to deal with all these operators being auctioneers to get all that information out as quickly as they can.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Still match point for the Air Force. They fell short of completing the sweep and getting a 6-0 on the previous round. They decided to swap sites. So the Air Force could have gone back, or the Army, having won that, will go upstairs to CEO. Instead of going Teller's Archives, and like we said, CEO has seen a rise in play over the last little while. Teller's Archives falling out of favor. So a number of theories behind that. But looking at this matchup in particular, tools from Air Force, utility, but lots of fragging potential there. Clink is going to start things off as the smoke had such a great game on defense. And once again, it's going to be both of these teams sending somebody in, solo entry with diffuser, no trade potential.
Yeah, if anything, guys, this is really going to show you the difference between these pro league level teams and, you know, your usual high tier players. When you just get 5 people together, it's not going to work out like it does with these high tier teams. You see a lot of refrag potential come out from these higher tier teams. Here, not so much. But Wallen will find execration. That is going to be the cap of the board, so that's going to give a little bit more breathing room to Daddy Mike and the rest of the boys.
So much to the detriment of the people who wanted an explosive interrogation. You will be denied it, at least for the next minute, because we will probably see Cav at some point. This might not be the last of her, unless it goes in favor of Air Force, and they're going to do everything they can to make this one quick, with J-Mag going down and Air Force opening up a lead on attack. Barnstorming into the site is Uber Duber, and he's going to continuously take damage from this goo mine. He knows he's got somebody inside of janitor closet. It's Clink who's now going to get disoriented from a concussive blast. Circling the wagons, there you go. It's Breezy, or it's Beezy taking Clink down. Leaving Demand and Aridin. Aridin's going to get one. He's going to find Uber Duber, and oh, Daddy Mike not watching. He falls to Demand, and we're back to a 2v2 here. It's Beezy playing around that bomb chassis. He has the marks he needs, and it's all up to Demand. Trying to hold this together. The Air Force just hanging on and waiting for match point. 10 seconds as Demand holds the angle, waiting for the Zofia to push.
5 seconds.
He sees the diffuser going down, and oh no! Demand might have just saved this. I'm Not Wallen needs the kill, but he won't get it. The Army will hold on. A beautiful play by Demand, and the right call in order to push the diffuse. We have now 7 rounds in a row for the defense.
You got to watch your planter. You got to watch him, even in your ranked games, guys. Even in your ranked games, you got to watch your planter. I mean, that's just textbook right there on what can happen. Just rotates over. He can hear the, you know, the clicking of the diffuser. Walks up, puts a cap into that Zofia, and moves on. So 5-2 is currently the scoreline, and I don't want to call it a comeback just yet. There is still plenty of Siege to be played in this exhibition match. But we could be stuck here a little while longer on Bank unless Air Force wants to find a way through this neck of the woods. But I will tell you one thing, though. All it takes is one slip up from the Army. And it's all over.
I mean, that was an easily winnable situation for the Air Force, and they just couldn't get it. And really, like you said, you have to watch the diffuse plant going down. As for Air Force, I think they were just, I'm Not Wallen thought that he had the location of the Bandit inside of CEO office. He did. Bandit is a 3-speed. He can move pretty quickly. There's nothing more frustrating than being on the edge of putting a match away and failing to do so repeatedly. There's going to be an emotional toll that it's going to take on Air Force if they can't get it done over the next 3 rounds.
I mean, honestly, I feel like they just need to go back to simplicity. I feel like all of these offenses are trying to do too much when you are literally a band of 5 just playing it. You are a 5-stack versus a 5-stack right now. Do not overdo it just because you are at LAN, you are playing on this. And I understand there's a bunch of things that are different at LAN. You got 240 hertz monitors now. You got one ping. Everyone's on an equal playing field. I mean, Peeker's advantage is no longer a thing. So
Different hit reg, not having to worry about netcode. The game plays completely differently on LAN than it does online, as most games will. So.
Exactly. So, simplicity more than likely will win this. So if they do end up going back to that, even so long as they, even go for just horizontal gameplay, they can even do that. I mean, there isn't too much craziness that the defense is really going to hit you with. More than likely, you're not going to get pinched from 3 separate angles like those competitive matches we love to see.
Daddy Mike on this really strong rappel over the front lobby will give you a good sight line over towards Banana and then over towards the Teller's Archives doorway in towards the site. But Daddy Mike doesn't see anything, instead we'll go to drone. Keep a drone position in lobby, which is important for Teller's Archives, especially if you're on a perch where you can see all the way up to that second floor, because you can be quite easily pushed and flanked. And I think he knows there's the Valkyrie camera. There he goes, he'll find it. So what did appear to be a bit of a sneaky spot from Execration gets spotted on drones, and that's good coordination from Air Force to call that one out. It's going to leave Daddy Mike to push all on his lonesome. He'll open up a wall between the sites, but Execration starts things off by taking its BZ down. The Valkyrie playing from above. So inside of the main lobby, if that gets called out, you can keep Daddy Mike possibly watching upstairs, but no, he's going to instead just keep his sights aligned on that site.
When we talk about ACOG angles, that's what we mean. That is an extremely far angle. If anybody peeks that, they are in some trouble. I will tell you one thing, though. I guess that whole SMG 11 nerf session that they had for about that 3-month period there was all due to Clink, because the man's been just murdering people with it. Wallen, though, gonna find Execration in the process of me blabbing on about an SMG 11, but Mike still not able to find anything. Rocking that ACOG on the R4C. Uber Duber now upstairs, opening up the floor. He is going to see Maestro put a couple bullets into him, and that is going to knock Aridin down to 1 health.
Oh, and they're going to feed demand to him, too. You got Clink holding the angle by the doorway. This can be really strong if the Buck can't flush him out from above. You're going to have to hope that Uber Duber is able to do the necessary work to determine where Clink is playing. It's been a bit of a slower round. Frag grenade comes out and almost tags Daddy Mike, as all 3 members of Army appear to just be fortifying themselves on the south side of the bomb site here. From above, there goes what little was left of Aridin to Uber Duber. J-Mag will lose the comfort of the security wall behind him, and oh, there's Daddy Mike. It's a 1v4!